Good morning, so it's Sarah here from Roxy Creations, and today what I thought I'd do is make a short video on a place where I get a lot of my supplies in Sydney, and it's called the Sewing Basket. It's run by a charity called Achieve Australia, which supports people with disabilities. So it's quite cool because not only can you get awesome crafty supplies, the money that you are spending in store also goes to help people with disabilities. So this is their Instagram page. So if you're in Sydney or even Australia and you might come to Sydney, I suggest following the page because it updates you on when stores are open, when their stores are open, and also if they're opening any new stores, etc. So currently there are three Sewing Basket stores. So the biggest one and their home base is in Newington, which is right near the Homebush Olympic section. It's actually right opposite Long Bay Jail for anyone who knows Sydney. And then their second store, and it's more of a little boutique store, is Baumaine, which I love because it's closer to home for me, and in fact I think I might go there today. And then their third store, which I've never been to, is up on the Central Coast in a place called Kincumber. And I've never been to that one, but I do plan one day if I go up to the Central Coast, I'm going to go and visit. Now, I believe they're about to open a fourth store in Caringbah, so down in the Sutherland Shire. They've announced that on their Instagram page, but there are no details yet. So if you follow their Instagram page, I'm sure that they will put out the details soon. So I'm going to show you around the Newington store. Now, I was only able to take photos. I asked the lady permission to film it with the intention to promote the store, to show you all about it. And she checked with the manager and they said I could take lots of photos to promote, but not videos, I guess, because they do have people working in the store and sometimes those people have disabilities. So I wouldn't want to put them on camera. So these are all still shots of the different types of things that you can get at the Newington store. And then later on, I'm going to show you the Baumaine store as well. I've taken some photos there. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you some of the things I bought at the Newington store yesterday. And by the time I put this video through, I will have been to the Baumaine store too, so I'll show you that. So this photo that you're looking at here is their section of threads. We've got a lot of wool threads here, and then there are a lot of stranded cottons and other specialty threads at the top. Right down the bottom is a whole heap of like vintage linen that you would do embroidery on. So some of them have quite a lot done, some are completed, and some are just the linen ready to be sewn on. So I'm going to show you some of the detail for each of the things. You really have to rummage through everyone. That's the fun of it, and you find wonderful things in the different parts of the store. So here we have an example of one of the wool sections. So it's Tapestry Wool and it's only 50 cents for a skein. So you can get different amounts and you just have to go through and find what you like. So they're pretty much in different color waves, and each time you go out there I find that they have lots of different things. So I like to go once every couple of months. Just to see what's new, and I always come home with heaps of stuff. So this is an example of the stranded cottons. Okay, and then down the bottom, this is what I was explaining. You've got the linens. Some of them have the embroidery on them. Most of them are partially done. Some haven't been touched at all. And then another shot of the different types of threads. So we've got a lot of different stranded cottons there. And then at the top shelf often has specialty things. I especially like the silk ribbons, like these ones. And most of these things are between 50 cents up to about $2 each. So they have a wall of stranded cottons as well. Most of them are full skeins. Sometimes they're partial skeins. And again, you go different times and they have different amounts. They have tapestries, most of which are partially completed. There aren't too many that are fully completed and some are not even started. Sometimes they come with the wool. They have a lot of patterns. So we've got patterns here. There's also a lot of cross stitch across the top and other bits and pieces. So here we have other kind of sewing notions, elastics, bias binding, rickrack, etc. So you just got to dig through these things. You'd be absolutely surprised at what you find. Quilting fabric. Often these quilting fabrics are fat quarters, but there are some larger amounts as well, like meter amounts, etc. And then different types of sewing threads. So you can see different prices on here. Some of these are rayon, some of these are machine quilting, and then they also have cotton threads as well. So look at those prices, $1 and $2, depending on how much is on the roll. Okay, they can even be cheaper, down to 50 cents. And again, they're usually divided in color lots. So you pull out the baskets and rummage through. These ones are more like cotton threads. The other ones were more like synthetic threads like rayon. And you just find what you like. Then they also have things like crochet hooks, different sizes. I'm not sure how much they are, but they probably wouldn't be anything more than about $1 or maybe $2 at the most. And then knitting needles. So we bought a whole heap of knitting needles here, my friend and I, and heaps of wool, because we've taught some of our boys at school how to knit for charity, and we were making blankets for homeless people. So here we have crochet threads, which I often use for my cantha stitching. I have a lot of this. And from memory, how much they? Maybe like $1.50 each or something like that. And you can get fairly large bundles, and they also come in different colours, and sometimes you can find the really good variegated ones as well. So then we move on to the laces. Now, at the time that I was filming this, look at the lace sale, 10 cents a metre. I think when they get an abundance of stock, they do need to put some things on sale. It says most are 10 cents a metre. Maybe some of the more fancy ones are a little more expensive. Sometimes I can buy a whole heap of it, like multiple meters, for just a couple of dollars. And a lot of it is old and some of it is new. So it's a big mix. And again, it's organised into colours, so you need to rummage through. I actually love going through this section. It's often where I get a lot of my laces. But particularly, I love it when I find really old ones. So the next section I'm showing you now is one of my favourite sections. This is where they have vintage doilies and embroideries and things like that. Handkerchiefs, you can see a pack of handkerchiefs there at the back. So this is an example of one. It's actually painted on, but that bird's really sweet and would be great to embroider on top of. And then they have drawers full of things. So here are a few examples of the embroidered doilies, and I'm a massive collector of these. Now these start off at 50 cents. 50 cents for the small ones, then $1 and $2. Okay, same with the doilies. The small ones are 50 cents, $1 and $2. So you can see how cheap everything is, and I do end up coming out with a massive stash. Stamps. So occasionally I do rummage through the stamps. I like a few stamps. They usually have several boxes of them. And then this is another favourite section of mine, the buttons. So they have drawers of coloured buttons and just so many buttons, and massive bags of buttons for like $1 and $2. They have wools and knitting patterns. So I do sometimes find some nice textured wools that I can use for couching, and I've also used them for knitting with my kids at school. And then they have general fabrics. So they're dress fabrics, they have seasucker fabric, they have gingham, I like looking through the vintage fabrics. At the time of filming, those fabrics were all 50% off. Now, I did take these photos around Christmas time, so there are a few Christmas things on display, but you can also find sewing machines there at a really good price, and other kind of notions. Now, one thing I didn't film is that they also have heaps of patterns, so dress patterns. And these are good for anyone who's into making junk journals. Also, you might want to make the actual pattern clothes. And they have vintage patterns too, which are really cool. Now, down the bottom of these shelves, they often have tins, and I love finding old tins. Not new ones, but old ones. And usually they're like $1 or $2. I'm not sure how much the sewing machines are, but I'm sure they're, maybe $50 or something like that. Now I'm moving on to the Baumaine Store. This is the outside window of the Baumaine Store, and it's a really cool display where they've got a lot of different sewing machines, and some of them are old vintage ones. Now this is the front side of the store, so it's a corner store, and they often have free things outside, and they hang outside the fabrics and stuff as they're airing them out. And then this is a closer shop of the fabrics, and then those fabrics do eventually move in store, but sometimes they have bargain things, especially when they've got excess stock that sit outside the store. Then we come into the store and they have shelving of different fabrics. A lot of these are dress fabrics or things like the seasucker fabrics, but they do also have the quilting fabrics as well. So just to show you a few bits of the shelving. So they've got almost like a little room that has all the fabrics in. And then you can also see that they do have some wools as well. So these would be like your more fancy dress fabrics, and depending on what they are, the prices vary. So still super cheap, but they can go up a bit. And then in the other room, I haven't taken too many photos because there are a lot of people in there and it's a small store. But this is one of my favourite sections where they have baskets of those vintage doilies and embroideries. So I'm back after having been to the Baumaine Store, and I decided to take a few more photos for you to see what's in the store. So these first two photos are the displays in the windows. And then in the store you can get some quilting fabrics like in the Newington store. And then you can also get a variety of trims and vintage sewing patterns. So here's a photo of some of those trims, different laces in different colours. Some are old, some are not old. And this is the pattern. So you just have to rummage through and find what you like. And then they do have bundles of wool. A lot of them are bunched up into bags, so you buy the whole lot. This is the shot of the sewing machines from inside the store. And these are different other types of trims and ribbons that you can get. They have a selection of buttons, not as many as Newington. Newington is a much bigger store, so it has more of everything. But you can still find goodies in Baumaine, and you really have to rummage through things, just like this bundle of wool. You'd rummage through it. Okay, so now it is time to show you what I actually got from the sewing basket. So I did go to the Baumaine store today, and as I said earlier in the video, I went to the Newington store yesterday. So I thought I'd show you the goodies that I got, and I actually got quite a lot at both stores. So firstly, their books were all on sale for $2. So I got 6 books. So this one is just an embroidery book. I love these little DMC library books. I've got much older ones than this one. Does it say what year? Nothing, just says 6 series booklet, but I've got quite a few of these, and I've got some really old ones of these booklets. So it just shows you some different patterns. And I just like having them to sort of get ideas out of them. So there's that one. Hopefully you can see that's some really pretty things there. Yep, so there's that, $2. And then I decided to buy a whole bunch of silk ribbon embroidery books. That's just super pretty on there. Hopefully I'm on screen. So this one is it's called The Complete Guide to Silk Ribbon Embroidery, and it's by Victoria Adams Brown. So just to give you a look into this book, it feels like it hasn't even been opened before. This one was published in 1996. So I'll just give a little flick through. I've got a lot of silk ribbons, and I want to learn how to do some different stitches with them. So, like, that's really pretty. And I'm hoping that I'll actually put some silk ribbons into my block this month. So just talking about different threads and supplies that you need. And then it has instructions for how to do the different types of stitches. So that's my plan. Pretty things. Experimenting with some silk ribbons. And these books will help me with some ideas. So there's that one. Then I really like this one. This one is an encyclopedia of ribbon embroidery, fruits, vegetables and herbs. It's from the American School of Needlework by Deanna Hall West. Lots of double-barreled names. And this one was printed. in 1997. Looks like silk ribbon embroidery was popular in the 90s. So again, looking at supplies and then different stitches that you can do with silk ribbon. So this one obviously focuses on different herbs. Look at the lavender, that looks really cool. And then it has vegetables. I don't think I'll be stitching vegetables, but still. And then garden accessories, and it just shows you how to do all them. So that's that one, which looked really cool. I love that garden, that looks really good. Then there was this one. They had, oh look, another double-barreled name. Satin and Silk Ribbon Embroidery by Leslie Turpin Delport. And let's see if this was published in the 90s. 1994. So, I mean, that's a bit, that looks like satin ribbon roses. It's a bit frou-frou for me, but just learning the different, oh, that's all basic stitches anyway. Most of them are, they're all ones pretty much we did with you guys and them. And similar, some of them are as well. So it's just talking through different stitches. It's nice seeing the different patterns and some of the different ways that you can make flowers. That's showing you the how to make that rose. So then looking at the projects. Now, I wouldn't do anything like that. That's a bit too full on for me. But I might take a couple of the flower techniques and mix it up with other embroidery and fabric as well. So this book does like little bouquets of them and hearts and things like that. So that's a good one. Okay, another one, silk ribbon embroidery. This one is from the Australian Country Craft series. 29 inspirational projects and a pattern sheet included. So this one was published in 1998. So we're going with the silk ribbon in the 90s theme. So that's really pretty. I like that. That's not too frou-frou. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so different. See that there, that's a bit too frou-frou for me, but I might like to take some of those individual styles of, oh, look at that, that's pretty. So embellishing a printed fabric. So, you know, kind of like the idea that Rach is doing with the Leonardo da Vinci, I think it was, face, and then doing some ribbon, not ribbon, but some flowers around it. So that one looks like there'd be some good ideas in there. And then this book, now I'm not going to be making tassels, don't worry, but I've actually been looking for this book for a long time. Published in, this will tell you how long I've been looking for it, in 2000. And the reason I'm looking for it is this, Susan Dickens is our auntie, so this is our dad's sister. And I think she published 2 books on tassels. And we actually made some tassels with her. She's super creative, our auntie on our dad's side. So not just creativity on mum's side, but also comes from dad's side. And she made a book of tassels, and I've been looking for it for a long time because I never had a copy of her book. So, I mean, look at that. That's like little decoupage flowers. I wonder if the tassel that I made with her's in here, like the design. I mean, look at that work there that she's done. So our Auntie Sue is actually a really good sewer as well. In fact, Mum and Auntie Sue, when we were younger, used to sit and stitch together a lot. That's ceramic buttons and painted wooden beads and not buttons, beads. They used to sit and sew together. Look at that. She would have done all of that. So Rachel and I were just saying earlier, we were chatting on Skype, that, oh, I've definitely seen that one. I think Mum or Rachel had one like that, maybe Rachel. That Auntie Sue would actually be really good at our project that we're doing. I'm sure Mum had one like that. But she's not doing it, but she would be really good at it because she's so creative. So I was so excited to find this. I've been looking for it for a long time, and now I just need to find her other book as well. So that one was a cool find, and all those books were $2 each. So very excited to find Auntie Sue's book. All right, so let's have a look at some of the other things. So I got some little bits of fabric. So this is patchworky type fabric. So I thought that was quite pretty, and I could definitely fussy cut some of the flowers and do some embroidery on them. So that was $1. Small piece, but it was $1. So this one here, I don't know, I just like this one. It's a bit modern. Not really what I normally go for, but again, I thought I could fussy cut flowers and embroider on them. So that was $1 as well. That looks like it's a quarter of a meter. This is just a red gingham, quite a nice piece of fabric, $1, not too thin. Sometimes gingham's really thin. So I got that, and it was a pretty colour, $1. This is a piece of, I'm pretty sure this striped fabric was sold or is still sold at IKEA. And it's obviously been used for something because it's got some stitching on it and it's been taken apart. But that's actually quite a big piece, and I think that piece was $1 as well. So grab that because you can always use stripe and things, bits of stripe. And then this piece of fabric here was, again, I think this was $1. So there was kind of like a basket outside with bundles of fabric. Can't get the ribbon undone. Hang on. What's going on? There we go. Okay, and this is actually, it's a lovely stripe. Feels, I don't think it's quite a linen, but it does feel almost like it's a linen. Now, I don't think that's an IKEA fabric. I'm not sure where that one's come from. Doesn't say on the selvage, but that would be half a metre of fabric there, that piece, folded over. So I like that too. And then I was super excited. I found these cushion covers made out of, so I've got stuff everywhere, made out of this fabric. Let me show you. And I thought that that was absolutely beautiful. And I can imagine cutting bits out and then doing some embroidery, some beadwork, some sequins. And I love the little person here. It's like it's almost like a trophy with flowers coming out of it. So I'll just show you. So that would be the floral arrangement there. That would be coming out of it. And I just love all the bright colours. The only thing I wasn't super keen on was the black background. I'm not really into black. I don't use much black. But I thought it doesn't matter. You just cut bits and pieces out. You wouldn't notice the black too much. So that was beautiful. That was a cushion. I've actually unpicked it, the cushion. And it runs from selvage to selvage. So it's the full width. And then you're looking at maybe half a metre there. So that's a huge piece of fabric. There was one other cushion cover. It was slightly smaller, less fabric. But I only got one. And that was $10 because that was a proper cushion cover, which I've now unpicked. But that is a linen fabric. Definitely a linen. So that I absolutely love. That's a gorgeous find. And then I was rummaging around in a bit of fabric that the lady had in the store, and I found the same fabric but with a sort of light grey blue background. So there was a few bits and pieces which appealed to me a lot more, that colour background, but same kind of concept. And how pretty would that butterfly there be embroidered? That would look great. And then there's this piece, bit of scrap, and then there's another one the same. So that, she just said she was going to give it to me for free, but I told her to charge me. So I think she charged me $1. Again, $1 for that little bundle. So that's all my fabrics and books. And now getting on to other bits and pieces. So I'll start with these. So seam binding, this is 100 yards woven edge rayon seam binding, which I would use for doing little ribbon flowers, or I might do like a little ruffle along the edge of a page. I'm even thinking I might try and play around with dyeing some of it. So that's not a full thing, but you can see there's a lot in there. So I got that. That was $1, that one. And then I also got a navy blue one. That's quite a dark navy, almost a black. And that's the full roll. That hasn't been used at all, and that was $2. So I got those two. And then, I got these. These are just quilt labels. There's 4 of them on there, and she charged me, I think, $1 for that. Or, yeah, I think it was only $1. So I thought you could cut them out and put them in some slow stitch piece, do some stitching on them. So they have a lot of these types of pieces that are either partially done or not done at all. And often they come with the threads. So this one had threads to go with it. And this was $4, this pack, with those pretty coloured threads there. And it's absolutely beautiful. So that one there is fully finished, except for just that little piece there needs embroidering. So I can do that. And the satin stitch, if I lift it up so you can have a look, satin stitch is just perfect. Okay, then the other side, the lady, I'm assuming it was a lady, could be a man. They've actually started this one and done a lot of it, but it's not finished. So I could finish that off. And then if I open it out, here on this side is a longer piece, which is almost done. It looks like all the feature parts are done. There's just a few little, they look like they're tiny bullion stitches. Wow. Just a few bits there to be done, and then it's like the border. So just to show you, look at that, so perfect, that stitching. So I mean, I could cut bits out, like for our fancy flowers, for example. I could cut something like that out, but I actually really like this, and I think I might eventually try and finish it. So that was $4, that one, with the threads. So that's that. Okay, I haven't opened this yet. This was a pack of vintage transfers. It was $3 for the pack. And this stuff here is great for junk journaling. So I haven't looked yet, but it's got, I even love that cover. That could go into a signature. You've got some different transfers in there. This one's animals, it looks like. Okay, then we've got, so I haven't looked at these yet, so it's quite cool. Oh, this would have been a transfer for a baby. It's got a cute bunny on it, and baby, you can smell it. It smells old. It smells like my grandma's cupboard, her craft cupboard. And again, I'd use this to put into a junk journal. Put some, I love this sort of old worn paper, which looks cool in junk journals. Oh, this one's pretty. Look at that. It's a little cottage there, and some different floral bouquets, bunches of flowers, and that's the thin kind of tissuey paper. Okay, so there's that. We've got, oh, if you can see that, hopefully you can. We've got some sweet bunnies there, which would have been good for last month. And some mushrooms and ducks and things. Again, very thin tissue that I would use for, what's in here for junk journaling. Oh, great old envelope. This is from 1945, pattern only, the New Ideas, Stanley Street, Melbourne. And an old stamp on there from Mildura, and it looks like it's a pattern. So maybe someone bought this in the mail. Let's have a look. Looks pretty. It looks like, oh, look at that, florals. And some of them have been cut out and pinned back down. So good for junk journals. And the envelope as well. That's fantastic. I'd use that envelope. Okay, this one looks like it's just letters. Yep, that's quite a big one. I probably won't open that fully out, but it looks like it's just lettering for monograms. Gee, there's a lot in here for $3, I think it was. Little flowers. Butterflies. What else have we got on here? Let's open it out. We've got some butterflies, dogs. Oh, I love the birds. I'm always on the hunt for embroideries, old embroideries, vintage ones with birds. I love them. My sister knows I love them. Like, I'd love to embroider something like that. So I might actually use this transfer and do those birds. Most of them, a lot of them are by Semco. Is that a brand that's overseas? I know it's definitely one that's been around in Australia for a long time, and you've got a big cat there as well. A lot of the linens, like that linen I just showed you that's embroidered, this one, I think, sorry, I'm hooked on things. Was this Semco? A lot of them are Semco. No, that one's not. No. But a lot of those things, I get these, and they're old Semco ones. Okay, so cute bunnies there, deers, hearts, transfers. So these, for anyone that doesn't know, these were what they used to iron onto like linen, and then they could embroider them. So it looks like I've got tennis rackets on this one. I've got fleur-de-lis, I've got birds. This is a big sheet. There's letters, fish. I won't open that one fully out. It's got a lot of different things on it. This one looks nice. This one's letters again. This one would be good for monograms. So I won't open that fully out, but you can see the B there. B. And it looks like it would have a lot of letters. Yep. This one's letters again, but more sort of modern patterns. Prefer the older patterns to modern patterns. And then this one's different pieces. There's cactus. I can see turtles, floral emblems, butterflies, hearts, boats. So it looks like that's a mixed one as well. So all of that, $3, all vintage patterns. Okay, so I'll just put that over to the side. Now this I haven't opened yet either. This one was actually $10. Made in France. Looks like old lace. So I have a feeling it's all the same type of lace. But I liked it because it was old. So I grabbed that one. I can usually get it much cheaper than this, but this one looks like it's actually got a lot in it. I can often get large amounts of this from, yeah, it's all the same pattern as that. It looks like it's the full thing. So it says 44 meters, so that's actually a lot of meterage in there, the same pattern. So $10 for that one. But I can often get decent amounts, like even 2 meters sometimes for $1 or 50 cents. It just depends. And I do find that the Newington store is a little bit cheaper than the Baumaine store. But it doesn't bother me because the Baumaine store is still cheap compared to what you'd normally pay. So the next thing, oh, this is really cute. I got this was half price. So I got it, it was $2, but they had it in a half price bin. So I got it for $1. And it's really cute. It's a little street design. It says Colonial Street, designed by Charles Wustocki, I think you pronounce that, 1986. This one didn't come with threads. Often they do come with threads, but it has the instructions on the inside. And it's really, really cute. It's smaller than you'd think it would be, and there's actually a little bit of embroidery done on it already. So tiny little French knots there, satin stitch. That's all French knots. So I thought that was super cute, and I might want to finish that off. That'd be a cute little thing to frame. So I got that for $1, half price. Okay, now my tins. So I love tins. I buy tins all the time. I've actually got several quality street tins. I've got a really old one, and then I have got some more modern ones. This one's probably in between. This tin was $3. So this is from March 1988. So it's from the 80s, this tin, but I do have some older ones. And I like to put my different pieces of sewing in my tins. So let's have a look inside what I've got. If I can open it, sorry. Okay. So this little embroidery here was $2. I thought it was really pretty. So that was from the Baumaine Store. This piece of lace that way, I thought was really good and would be great for a slow stitch project. That was $1. I got some threads. I'm pretty sure I got all of these for 50 cents each. So these are, it's cotton by Coats Anchor. It looks like a perle thread. It's not a stranded cotton. And this one as well, but it's quite a thin one. So I'm not sure if you can see, but it's quite thin. It's thinner than a perle number 8. But I thought they were pretty colours. And then this thread, I'm not sure what it is. I've never seen this type before. It feels like it might be either a bit of a linen thread or maybe a bit of wool in there. I'm not sure. But I thought that was interesting. And again, it looks like a perle thread, but it's a little bit thicker than the other one. So I got that one. And every now and then I just grab a piece of wool. So I like that colour. 100% wool. So I got that. These little balls, I had quite a few of these. Now these, I'm pretty sure they used to use them to crochet the edges of doilies. This is really thin. These were 50 cents each. So I got 2 green ones because I thought that might be good for doing stems and things like that. So that's them. Okay, there's this little crocheted piece, crocheted doily. And this was, 50 cents. So it could even be good to cut out little bits, and they're like little flowers there in the center, or you could use the whole piece or cut it up. And then I got this piece of silk ribbon. It was originally $3. I think I got this one for $2. Might have been $2. So I just got that because it was a nice color. So that was all the things in this tin were from the Baumaine Store today. And then from the Newington store yesterday, that's what comes in this tin. So these tins here are an old chocolate box. I got this one for $2. I have another one of these. It is a chocolate box from Australia, Mac Robertson, Melbourne, Australia, chocolates. I have another one of these with a different flower on it. It's an orange and yellow flower. And I got that quite cheaply. I can't remember where I bought it, but I got it quite cheaply, but not as cheap as this. But I have seen these exact tins for sale in antique markets for anything from probably $30 to $45. So the fact that I got it for $2 is fantastic. So let's have a look inside this one. Okay. Oh, so I did actually get this from the Baumaine Store. So this beautiful, beautiful ribbon is the full roll, and on this it says there is 10 yards. Not quite sure the conversion in to meters. And I got that for $5. So Rach loves this. I've already shown it to her. I'm going to send her some of that because it's really pretty. So that's that. Then there was this one. I got this for 50 cents a meter, and I think I got about a meter and a half. So that pretty ribbon. I love these types of ribbons with the embroidery on them. As much as I hate cigarettes, not a fan, never smoked. Not a fan of cigars either. I do love cigarette tins and cigar boxes, and I do collect them. Little tins like this. This one was $1. It'd be good to put little buttons in or beads. I think I've actually got one of this brand already, but I've got another one. Okay, so these little embroideries, I only picked up a couple of these. This one was 50 cents. So that's really sweet. And then I got this one. That one was 50 cents as well. And I'm not fussed about stains. There's yellowing on them. There's little marks. I leave it. I don't care about it. It's just showing you that it's a vintage piece. It's showing you the age, and I leave them as they are. And then I got a bunch of threads. So these ones again are like those ones I just showed you. In fact, is that the same color? Yes, I think I got, oh, it's similar. It's a different, oh no, it's the same brand. Pretty much the same. There you go. And I got a green one. This is really thin. This is not in English, so I can't tell you what it is. But that's super thin. I thought that would be good for doing some cantha style stitching. This one is again, this is a DMC. Just reading. Says says flower thread, but it's spun like a perlé, but a thin perlé, like the other ones. I got a few of these. These are like the cotton threads. All these threads were 50 cents each, these ones. These are the DMC sort of thicker cotton threads, which are good for couching over. So I picked up a few colours of them. That one's not DMC, but the rest, oh no, that one's not either, but the rest are. But they all look nice together. And then I got some little thread packs for 50 cents. I haven't actually opened it up. Let's have a look. So just some textured threads there. It looks like I've got two. So one that's a bit fluffy to give some nice texture, and that looks like a silk perlé. Feels soft. It's like a silk. So that was 50 cents. And I got this little pack. I think she charged me 50 cents for all these. Oh no, $1. Maybe this one was $1. So let's have a look. This one is from South Africa. The brand is Creative Threads, mix and match in the pink. Oh, here we go. What does it say inside? Oh, it just tells you about couching, which we already know how to do. Let's have a look at what these threads were. So that's kind of like a ribbon, which you could do some ribbon flowers with. That's a stranded cotton, pink. That's kind of a textured thread with pink and a bit of black through it. That is a chenille. I love chenilles. They're really good for couching. And that is a fine perlé thread. Okay, and then I got this pack for $1 as well. Okay, so it looks like I might have 3 different ones in here. Let's have a look. No, maybe 4. So cotton perlé number 12. So that's a thin perlé with some nice variegation in the colours. This is a stranded cotton. This is a mercerized cotton. Apparently, I mean, it looks a little bit like a perlé, but it might be a bit finer. Apparently, these don't fray. That's what I've been told anyway. So, nice variegation in the colour there. And that's a thicker perlé cotton. And then I bought buttons. Now, I've got heaps of buttons, but I like to buy more buttons. And depending on what was in these packs will determine the price. So I tried to buy some mostly coloured ones, just to build up some of my colours. So I'll probably put these, I have my buttons in quality street tins like the one I showed you before. So this pack was $1 for all these little pink buttons. This one was $2. There's some different types of orange buttons in there, orange and sort of corally colours. $2. Some little yellow buttons for 50 cents. Okay, there's not many buttons in this one. I think there's only 4, but that was 50 cents for the 4. 20 cents. These are little green, some little green buttons. There's 4 in there as well, 20 cents. I always like little buttons, like little white ones and pearl ones. That was $1 for that little pack. You can get really big packs of buttons there for like $1 and $2, which I've bought before. These are vintage buttons, apparently. They're little green ones. I got them for 80 cents. Yeah, the way they're stitched onto the cardboard shows you that they're quite old. And this little pack, they're kind of a tanny, purpley colour for $1. I liked, these are kind of pearly on one side, and they're 40 cents. There's 4 buttons in there, all the same, like a pearly, very pale yellow. I thought these 2 little buttons were cute. 20 cents for those 2. 40 cents for these little orange ones. These are glass buttons, aqua glass buttons. I thought they were pretty. They'd make nice flowers, so they're 50 cents. You don't see these types that often. Got these little pink ones with ridges on them. 15 cents for those 3. And then this little pack of yellow buttons for 40 cents. Very pale yellow buttons. And that's it. So that's my stash that I got from the sewing basket. So lots of buttons, lots of threads, the laces, and what I am most excited about is probably these 2 trims, which I really like, and then that fabric that I showed you before. So I hope you like seeing the types of things that you can get at the sewing basket. You can certainly get a lot more than this. I did spend a long time in the Baumaine shop today, but the store yesterday I was a bit rushed because I had to take my son to play water polo, so I didn't get as long as I normally would like to look. But there are all different things there, as you can see in the pictures that I've shown you before. And if you are in Sydney or travelling to Sydney, I highly recommend going there. Not only will you have fun finding bits and pieces like this to sew with, you will also be helping charity. And if you have stuff that you want to de-stash and get rid of, like I definitely need to de-stash some stuff, it's great to donate it because you know that other people will love it and appreciate it when they go to that store, and also you're supporting people with disabilities. So I hope you enjoyed seeing all about the sewing basket, and hopefully one day you get to go out there. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Wednesday for my next installment and Rachel's next installment of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. Thanks for watching. Bye.